shit. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kim Congdon Takeover. I'm Kim Congdon, and I'm here with one of my best buddies, funniest guy ever. You know him from the Josh Potter Show. It's Josh Potter.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. We're here live at the Comedy Store studios, the Comedy Store Network podcast studio. What do you call it? The Comedy Store podcast network studio. The place they do fucking podcasts at the Comedy Store. It's pretty sick, man. I like
it looks great.
Yeah.
I haven't been here since they changed rooms.
Yeah, I know.
Down here, at least.
I was just saying that this is where I would go if there was a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, I just feel like the top part of it is so fragile that it would like blow it off and then you just get the same. Like the structure above
but
you.
It'd still be underground. I know no other place that has a basement.
That's a
in
good
LA.
point. In LA, there's not very many basements.
And doesn't all that stuff from the nuclear bombs float above? It rises, kind of, once it settles.
Yeah, I think so.
You would be better off. You'd be less wonky than all your friends.
I think radiation, you're just exposed to it regardless of.
But there's less or
air.
more.
It does blow with the wind, I guess. Yeah.
You got to get out of it.
That's true.
You can be out there in the radiation, Josh.
No. I mean, looks like I already was, but I.
You look like you just did a bump of radiation.
Oh, give me that sweet radiation. It like makes me hot.
Give me that sweet, sweet R.
It melts all the right things.
That's his R word.
Yeah, that's sweet R.
Thanks for doing the pod, dude. Last time you came on, wow.
Yeah. I actually didn't get as much blowback as I thought I would.
Oh, really?
No, it was because, I mean, your songs were so wonderful that they eclipsed the blowback I would have gotten for being pathetic.
Oh, yeah. You know, I honestly was a little disappointed by the response. Like, I thought those were...
You thought record deal. You thought...
Capitol Records.
Yeah.
I thought I was signing away.
It was a hell of a song. I said you should put it on Spotify.
I have never been so embarrassed in my entire life. I did nothing wrong to you. It's so good. It's such a fucking banger. The fact that my fans over.
What was the other part that was like?
Detain her.
No. And you did that to me. What was the beginning of that?
If the roles were reversed and you did that to me.
That was the best.
No. One that could get us kicked out the airport. And you grit your teeth at me. Just violent actions from my ex.
Your elbow. Fantastic.
So good. Not us reminiscing old fun times.
Oh, remember that podcast, folks?
Remember the better podcast we did?
Now we got to try to live up to it.
Now we have to. It's hard. It's hard, dude.
Some of the things you proposed are scary.
I did. I said that we should read our sexts out loud. But you know what's tough about that?
What's that?
Reading your sext when you're not horny.
No, it's the worst. In fact, I wish they would explode or disappear after the sex.
When you blow your load, it should explode.
You never read back. I mean, I don't ever read back sex. And when I do, it's to shame myself, I guess. I don't know, because they're so bad.
Why would you ever read them back? I don't read them back.
Sometimes I want to think about what the girl said.
You know what else I don't do? If I have a drink and I text a guy, feeling a little confident, I won't read the conversation.
What do you mean?
If I text a guy when I'm drunk.
Oh,
like, what
right,
are you doing, cutie? Whatever that is.
Ooh, you ever get the next day and you have like a couple of texts and you see the names and you're like, oh boy.
Yeah. It's been a while, but I do remember that feeling.
Oh,
but
boy.
my friend Kelsey taught me very well. Just fucking delete before you even look.
So you delete conversations?
Yeah. If I don't want to see them.
I rarely do. In fact, the ones that I've deleted, I regret deleting because it had evidence in there.
I don't need to listen. You don't need to live in a life where you need evidence. That's what I've come to find out.
I'm a text hoarder is what I am.
Yeah, I know. You're yeah. I also would, I might feel a little different if I was a man. I'm not worried about needing evidence.
Not evidence like that necessarily, but I get what you're saying.
But that's how I would feel if I was a guy. I wouldn't delete anything from a girl because I'd be like, no, she liked me. Look, she wanted to fuck me. Look.
No, that's the thing.
She wanted to fuck me really bad.
You have to remind yourself sometimes. You're like, this girl who seemingly hates me, she was just sexting me, right? You know,
oh yeah, I kind of do. I do look back at text just to sometimes go like, read this and realize that men are good at lying. Like, learn that. Like, read this and look at how he's lying. He was lying there.
I think
and
women
learn
are
that.
pretty good at lying too.
We're both good at lying.
I mean, humans are good at lying.
We're liars, dude.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't understand what the disconnect is.
It's true.
Let's solve the problem right now, but men versus women.
I have a hard time. I think it's just whatever person you are or whatever kind of person you are. Because I like have a very hard time lying. Because like it kills me. Like I will confess to a lie shortly after making one. If it's if it's like a big one.
I don't lie.
Yeah, I just don't.
That's actually my biggest issue. I wish I could.
Right, that's the thing. Sometimes it's not like I'm too honest or something, but I'll just say the thing that I'm thinking, and people are like, keep that to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like dating a guy, and I'll be like, isn't it crazy that I just can only fuck you forever? And then I look, I'm like,
Why would they be upset
that was
about
supposed to be an inner thought.
What are they upset about, though? Because you made it like them realize forever?
It's just like, me being like, I have to fuck you forever.
Oh, you do it in a bad way. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were like, isn't it nuts? We're just going to fuck forever. And then they were like,
no, I'm just kind of like, isn't it nuts that we have to fuck forever? Isn't that nuts?
Well, I mean, you don't have to.
You don't have to.
It's weird that you're thinking that dating a guy.
That we have to, well, if I'm dating a guy seriously, I've had that thought.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you potentially are thinking of marrying the person.
Yes.
You have to be like, is this what I want forever? This particular experience?
Yes.
Is this the rest of my life? Because I feel like I've probably dated guys that like other girls would marry.
Mm.
You know, like guys that could be husbands.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I date them and I'm like, this is just not, when you feel it, you don't, when you don't feel it, you don't feel it.
I don't think I've ever come close.
Yeah.
Because like every serious relationship I was in, I was always like career focused and I was like, get married. What are you talking about? I have to do this, this, and this first, you know, or like make this much money first before I'm even thinking about that. And then you become 35, 36, 37, and then you're like, oh, maybe I should have married one of those.
Yeah, you're like, that's what everyone else did. They just said yes then. They gave into that
like,
pressure.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, not me. I was like, I need a plan and a man. No fling, I need a ring. It's all serious. It's like, no, this is not.
And then I was like, I'll just have fun for a while. And then, you know, a while turns into like almost a decade. And then you're like, oh, boy.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're alone.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I'll tell you one thing. You know what I hate, though? This is kind of fucked up, and maybe I should save this for my therapist. But every time I get in a relationship, if I'm really happy, it's the first time. It's when I start getting depression. So if I'm in a relationship, I start getting depressed if I'm really happy because I get sad about dying.
Yes.
If I really love someone, I remember the last guy I dated that it was a serious relationship, I would like, not in front of him because it's so psycho, but by myself cry at the thought that we only had like maybe 40 years.
More
I'm
years.
like, it wasn't enough. Like I was so in love with him. I'm like, it's just
That's
not
so
enough.
funny.
It's not enough.
I have that kind of thing like Christmas time.
And then when I have kids, imagine how I'm going to feel about that.
What, dying?
Yes.
No, of
It's
course.
going to devastate me.
Yeah,
I don't even have kids and I could cry thinking about leaving my children.
Yeah.
Isn't that sick?
That's terrible.
Mentally ill.
I always, as a kid, would cry on Christmas because I knew it would end that day.
Yeah.
And
Christmas Day's the worst.
Yeah.
Christmas
I have a hard
Eve's where it's
time.
at.
When I'm happy, I get
Sad.
yeah.
It's me too.
Yeah, it's
What
weird.
is that?
I don't know. My therapist was like, that's stupid. My therapist told me it was literally, she goes, that's just silly. I mean, you have to live in the moment or whatever.
I know
You're not
they
living
say
in the
that,
moment.
but
And
it's like good for you.
yeah, okay. Sorry that you're just,
Sorry you're happy.
you're so dense that you don't think about the next thing or the thing after that.
Yeah.
You're
No,
just-
they do. They just don't care.
That's another sickness, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm like,
think
you
I'm
need the
wrong.
therapy.
Yeah,
Why aren't you
Yeah,
sad?
fix yourself. We should all be like this.
Not us saying our therapists need to fix themselves. But I do agree with you in a way.
Yeah.
That it is. It's fucking sad.
It's impossible to like, everyone's like, oh, you got to experience the happiness. When you're happy, you have gratitude and you're thankful. But also,
But the
coming with
reason you're
that-
thankful.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. what comes with that is like, will it always be like this? You know what I mean?
No, it
or
won't.
like, and it won't be.
It's not even will it always be like this. It's like when I'm happy, I'm like, this is it right now. And love it before it's gone.
Yeah, yeah.
And
it
then
will go
before
away.
it's gone takes over love it for me.
Yes.
Because I'm
it will go is what the dominating thought becomes.
It will go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's so sick.
I know, it's disgusting.
It's disgusting. I feel the exact same way.
And it does go.
What is that? Do we know what that is? Is that are you a doctor by chance?
I think Lee just edits video. I don't think he.
Dude, I remember like names night. I'm like, well, after this night, which nights go. I remember thinking nights go by so fast. Yeah. I go hang at the store, and in a few hours, it's like they're like, all right, wrap it up, people. You know, it's
there have been times I've come here and had such a fun time. I always am the last person to leave, which is like a sickness in my own self. Like I'm always the last person to like leave. Fun time. And here it happens a lot.
You
and
know
I'll
that
get here at like,
you know that SZA song? Why is it so hard to accept the party is over?
I did not know that's a song. That is me. I swear. And it's literally every time I come here. Today, I got here at like 5:30. I'll probably be here till they put the board on the wall.
Right.
And I don't know what that is. And it goes by like that. I don't even mean it to happen.
Yeah.
It just... I'm having fun. It goes by, and then I'm like, everyone's gone. Why didn't everyone want to keep partying?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that way. I also get stuck in places. So
what do you mean?
If I'm at the store and I'm like, I'm just going for an hour, I'll stay for longer than I wanted to. But also, it's not even just here. If I'm home, I'm like, I'm just gonna run home for a minute. I'm like, catch me here for the next 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like I'll just get stuck I get comfortable, and then I'm just like, I don't want to do a new thing, even if the new thing's fun. Like even today recording these podcasts, I'm like, I have to go record podcasts, but I'm having fun.
Sure.
I'm actually having more fun than when I was sitting on the couch worried about how I needed to do the podcast.
Right.
So I'm like, what the fuck is this constant
I think that's called anxiety. Or like dread. I have dread is what they say, not anxiety. The opposite.
But isn't it? Oh, okay.
It's dread. Like I dread. I think so. I mean, like I don't get like, oh, I got to do this. I get like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to go do this.
That's how I get too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I dread so many things. I'll put them off. I'm a procrastinator. Anything that like, and it's such a little bitch boy mentality. Anything that like inconveniences me or makes me like, I go, ugh, I don't want to do that. I kick down the line and I
yeah. And then I worry about it for so long.
And then my life is affected.
And then I do it and it took like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I could have just did that so long
I'll
ago.
be like, I need to send this email telling this person I don't like their graphic. Whatever it is. I'm like, it's so mean. Don't tell them. Oh, God, I don't want to write it. I'll wait. I don't know. And then I'll write it and they're like, oh, no problem. I can adjust for you. And I'm like, I thought about that for 7 days. I thought about that for 7 fucking days.
Yep. Yeah. Or like a phone call, just a simple phone call. I'll be like, I'll call tomorrow when I have more energy.
You know what is one of my pet peeves as someone with ADD and a little OCD? I fucking hate
What's that?
When people put when they're communicating with you, and the way they communicate with you is in multiple different threads. Like if we're having a conversation in a text, it needs to stay in a text. Like we can't be like, I'll email you the rest. I'm like, no, this is the place I talk to you now.
Yeah,
this is it.
Of course.
This is it. You can tell me what you emailed because I'm not looking.
Yes.
I just saw your email lead on the way here. I was like, oh, yeah, we're coming through. We do need a podcast studio. I don't check my emails. I can't.
I don't know why email to me is like an old school form of communication to the point where I go like, no one expects me to answer this immediately. Do you know what I mean? Like I always go like, it's not like a text, it's an email. I go,
why can't we just text instead of email and send the big links on email? Why can't the threads be in the text? People are like, it doesn't hold up. You have to put it in email. What's the difference? If I send a message in my phone that I could also open in my computer, and if I send a message in an email, what's the difference?
Well, as we were just talking about, you delete your text threads.
I could delete my emails.
Yeah, but they live in a thing where you can go back and
I could go in the trash and they're gone. I mean, you can, but you can also read the text on your end. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're right. I am a phone call guy. I feel like all the things like the back and forth we have through text or email or whatever takes so fucking long when I could have just on the phone said it within 2 seconds.
They've set it up perfectly. So we spend so much time trying to communicate simple things that we don't realize we're constantly working. They've set it up perfectly. The work week, any job I ever even worked before stand-up, I'm like, I could do all of this in 2 hours if I really didn't spread it out all day. I'm trying to pretend I was. So now our whole lives are spread out, and we're trying to like, I mean, sometimes I'll go to email like someone, and they're like, oh yeah, the office closes in an hour. We're going to take care of it on Monday. And I call and I go, no, let's take care of it now. We have a whole hour. Now we don't have to wait for the whole weekend. Do it right now. Right now. Everything's slow. Everything's slow.
That's why I like phone calls, because it's like you get the answer right away. You get to the bottom of something. But I had a girl tell me I'm a complete psychopath because I prefer phone call. Like anything. Like if it's a problem with my credit card, I want to call the person and talk to them. Me too. If it's like... Otherwise, I'm going online, I'm chatting with a robot. It's like, press even
and by the time you get to the end of the robot, you got to call the representative. What are we doing?
Yeah, I get so irate. And with the thing, like the operator, I'll just be like, representative, until they send me to a voice.
Oh, God. Put speak to a representative on my tombstone. The way I yell that into the ether.
I'm so much
And I do it with such attitude. If it's talking, I go, speak to a representative, speak to a representative, speak to a representative. Because it knows if it can. I think they've figured it out that if someone's yelling or doing,
I just hit 0.
It's like, okay, we'll transfer you right over, sir. Like,
we'll find someone for you. No, I can't stand the like prompts and everything like that. It's like, just let me talk to a person. I'm such a better communicator, or I don't know if it's because of what we do for a living or whatever, but it's like orally, I'm such a better communicator than through text, through typing, through email.
Well, it's also like when you're calling those numbers, it's the patience you need to have. It's like some people are like this when they talk. It's like, just get to the fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you for calling Pavilion's Pharmacy.
That's an operator, right? Or are you saying that's a real person?
No, it's an operator. And then it's like, the pharmacy where all fruit grows. It's like, please, already could have cut that one.
0. It is a test of Zen where you're dealing with that. It's like, all right, let me see how Buddhist I can be.
But this is me.
Yeah.
Instead of, to speak to someone in the pharmacy, please press 5. Can't we just do pharmacy 5? Why? Why can't we cut everything down?
Some people are not smart.
They would not know.
They would have to. They have
pharmacy,
to hear the rigmarole.
press 5.
Yeah. I just said the second I hear an operator go 0.
Oh, me too. I'm screaming into the fucking thing. But then as soon as someone comes on and I hear they're from a different country, I'm like, hi. Thank you so much. I hope everything's going well over there. There's like bombs and drones in the background. I'm like, I cannot be mean to this person who's
I never thought about
who's working from the Gaza
Strip. I figured they were all right. You know what I mean?
No.
I thought they were in one of the
You hear their
safe
daughters
ones.
getting their hair cut off for a weave in the background. It's fucking horrible. You have to be nice to those people.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Oh, if the operator picks up and it's a Susie, she's getting it.
Yeah, of course.
No, but
I've never been. I'm rarely like rude on those things. In fact, I think it's it's like my skill set that I can actually like when I'm completely in the wrong, but I need them to do me a favor.
Yeah,
I can get that person to do it just by being like nice to them.
Yeah, this is where I feel like I may get rude, but I can't tell if it's just, this is who I am as a person. Even today, before this, I had an eye exam like 5 months ago, and I got fitted for new lenses, the whole thing. Ever since then, I feel my
Stigmatism.
That is worse.
Yeah.
And my eyes are more sensitive and just more red all the time. So I called them, told them that. I leave for 9 days tomorrow. I made the appointment for today so I can get to the doctor before I leave town because it's been bothering me. I tell them on the phone, this is the problem. I go in and they're like, oh, sorry, we thought you were getting refitted for new contacts. So we actually would have to do like an exam to see what's wrong with your eyes, then refit you for contacts. I was like, yeah, I know. That's what I said. And then she's like, so we're going to actually have to charge you for visiting and this and then the refitting. And I was like, no. The refitting and the other thing, that is the visit.
Yeah.
That's the visit. And they didn't end up charging me, but I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, if I didn't stop and go, no.
Right, that's how they get you.
Actually, this is the visit. You telling me it's wrong, that is the visit.
Yeah.
You can't charge me to show up here and then come back again.
Right.
You're insane.
That's not.
But I didn't say it that way. But sometimes I'm like, is the little bit of me being no? Like, is that Do you have to be rude for people to help you?
Yeah,
It sucks.
you have to at
It
least stand up for
sucks.
yourself, and it's with everything. I'm just learning it at 37 years old that you have to stand up for yourself.
You
'cause
have to,
people
because
are just not going to do the right things.
people will take advantage of you consistently.
Yeah.
All the time. I tell my sister all the time, I'm like, you need to stand up for yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm just figuring this all out at the ripe age of 37. I even talk about procrastinating, and it was detrimental to my life. I had a lease that I just kept paying for 7 months because I just like forgot about it. Like I thought like, oh, I don't live there anymore. They won't charge me rent. They'll
And
figure
you
out.
just paid it every month?
And then I realized I'm paying it every month. And I was like, once my like savings was like dwindling, this is like a whole other rent. I'm like, what is going on? And then I go, oh, I'm still paying this? I thought they would just move someone else in by this point, but they're just taking my money is what they're.
Right. I
thought my roommate was going to move someone else in instead of
I had
accepting my
ex who I added my card. I don't know what happened. Something he would always lose stuff. So I think one day his card was lost and he needed to put in my information for his Uber. And then I forgot. And like there was a period in my life where I was literally so fucking broke, and I was like, why don't I have any extra money? Like I was not spending for 2 years, maybe. I was like not spending any money, and I was like, I don't have any extra money ever.
Yeah.
And I would be telling my family, and they would be like so shitty to me, like maybe you need to stop smoking so much. It's an expensive
my family does.
And I'm
that
like,
too.
it's not the weed. Like I should be able to. Like I'm working all the time. I should be able to smoke weed every day. Like it should be the bare minimum. I don't drink. I don't go out.
Right.
I don't shop. I do now, but I didn't then. And at one point I like finally like broke down I called my bank. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Is there any recurring bills? And I'd realized that he had left his card on my Uber. He lived in New York. He lived an hour away, 40 minutes away from his work. He didn't have a car at some point. So he was Ubering every day in New York City to and from work, and also ordering 2 meals a day from Uber Eats.
Oh my
on my card. So it was like $80 a day.
Jesus.
That was coming out for years.
That's crazy.
Years. And boy, was that a fun phone call to make.
I've been doing that to myself for years.
It was a treat.
I've been just going like, who the hell? Oh, it was me.
Oh, it was me every time. I do
2
order. I order delivery a lot, but who
Yeah,
has
I need
the
to
time?
stop. But
No, listen.
I heard that Uber does not really do much when it comes to that though, because I've had friends who like, a girl would do that. They'd put, and they would be like, you need to get this woman off my card. And they would be like, well, you got to cancel the card. And then they would be like, I don't want to cancel my fucking credit card just because this like you can't just kick them off. And I know a guy who just like kept letting the woman on it until he like figured it out, because he was like, I'm not losing my points on this fucking card.
Yeah, no, it was a lot, but he also just paid me back, so it was fine. But it was a lot of money. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
it was
crazy.
his money.
He just paid it right
it was
away.
my money. Well, yeah, I just called and I was like, I've actually been charged for 2 years. Can we like work something out since I have no money in my savings? Because
What did you?
I was like, I can't afford to go out to eat twice a day and take 2 Ubers a day.
Yeah.
So I mean, apparently
Did
I
you,
can.
like,
But then I was
guesstimate?
also proud of myself. I was like, I can really make it out here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was like, I've been living under my own means this whole time.
You were taking care of another guy,
Dude,
basically.
I was raising it was for him and his son. It was their dinners and
Good
Ubers.
God.
I was raising a whole family
like,
on
oh,
my
wait.
back, dude.
I could get married to a deadbeat.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I felt.
So did you just come up with a number, or did you like itemize everything?
No, I went and itemized everything. I think it ended up being like $4,000.
Jesus.
Yeah. Something like that.
Golly.
And it was nice. He paid, I was like, just pay me $1,000 a month or whatever.
God damn.
And that was nice.
That was
And then
nice.
it kind of felt like at the end, I was like, that was kind of nice because it kind of felt like I had like a weird savings account I put to the side. Every month I was getting it was my own money, but girl math in my head, I was like making money.
yeah.
I was like, I would have spent this anyways already. Now it's coming back in big lump sums. This is great.
Yeah. I had an ex-girlfriend hit me up. She was crying. Her dog died. She's had this dog forever. And I gave her $1,500 just to buy a dog. And she was like, I'll pay you back next month. And then like a year, 2 years went by. I just kind of was going to be like, you're fine. I wasn't going to ever ask her about it. But then I was like, hey, kind of need that $1,500. What do you say, lady? You hook me up. And then she finally like started giving me installments.
Hell yeah.
But it took forever. It was like, you just weren't going to ever pay me, were you?
But you saved that $1,500.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it.
Yeah, basically, I kicked it down the line.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it came in handy in a rainy day.
Yeah, that same ex with that Uber account, I for some reason, so many times when I lived in LA, I'd call an Uber and it would cancel on me.
Oh.
And I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? And one day I got an Uber and the Uber driver, we were talking, and when I went to get out, he was like, you're so nice. I was like, thank you. He was like, why are your stars so low?
Oh, no, he was getting you bad ratings?
He was getting me bad ratings.
What could he have been doing?
He was fighting with all the Uber. You know him.
Oh, it was him?
Yeah, of course it was him.
I thought it was I was going to say.
Who else?
That's
Who
so
else?
funny.
So my Uber rating is like a 3.8, which is horrible.
Yeah, that's awful.
It's like horrible. And I can't get Uber sometimes. If it's really late at night, they won't pick me up because they're going to assume that like that person drinks and can't handle it, I think.
Yeah.
So I have to call Uber and be like, sorry, it's my mean to Uber X.
I can't. Yeah, my Uber X was the...
My Uber X.
I can't believe I have a decent rating because I do get picked up blackout drunk.
Yeah, but you're
many times.
nice when you're drunk.
Yeah, but I'm not like... Yeah, exactly. But I can't believe I haven't like puked in a car or something like that.
Yeah.
I never really do, but I have definitely gone home and been like, ooh, this is going to be a long ride.
Oh my God. I almost puked in a car the other day, but I just had a migraine, and I was like, he's gonna.
Was it your own car or someone else's?
A car.
Oh, I see.
Someone else's car. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is embarrassing.
Throwing up drunk.
Throwing up in a car. The last time I did that was like, I don't know, college probably, and it was Thanksgiving Eve, and we went to Canada because we used to go drink in Canada when we were like 19.
Okay, very specific.
Well, Canada you can drink at 19, so like. It was, you could just drive 10 minutes over the border and drink underage then drive back wasted. We would drive back so wasted. It was so dumb. But my cousin took us the one night and I was doing Irish car bombs, like thinking as if that the curdled like milk and everything else in them wouldn't upset my stomach. Like I drank probably 8 in like 2 hours.
I used to love car bombs.
And boy, oh boy, on the way home, I puked. We made it through the border, and then I puked all over my cousin's girlfriend's car.
I can feel that throw up. Yeah. I know exactly what that one tasted like.
All over her
so
like
gross,
school books and everything. My poor cousin the next day was hungover on Thanksgiving, like washing it out with a hose.
Oh, hell no. Fuck no. Not on Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving, yeah.
Okay, so speaking of embarrassing moments.
I have to do these things.
I brought these.
Yeah.
The game sucks. I mean, the game's fine, but...
These things, I don't even know if I could fit this in
I think
my
you can,
mouth.
look.
How do you do it?
Cheek. It's a cheek. Like this.
I'm scared. Oh, God.
Okay.
I hate it.
All right, can you understand what I'm saying?
Now, can you?
Yeah.
Okay, this sucks for me.
Okay, one time at a party, I'm going to confess an embarrassing story.
One time you're at a party.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And there's a comedian. This is when I was a very young comedian.
Can I do it while I watch? Can I just have it out? Okay.
We'll take turns.
Yeah.
I'm drilling. This is when I was a very young comedian.
Okay.
One time I went to a party.
One time you went to a party when you were a very young comedian.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And a comedian was there.
I had a crush on him.
Okay, you have a crush on this comedian? Okay.
For many, many years.
For many, many years.
And he's very popular.
He's very popular. Okay.
Uh-huh. And this sucks because you can understand every word I'm saying.
I'm starting to learn. I'm starting to understand.
This is not how I planned for
You
this.
might as well just tell the story.
No. I'm trying to make it harder.
I know. You're trying to cloak it in some way,
speech is impeccable.
But here I am like the translator after Shohei Ohtani pitches a game.
I shouldn't have chose a blind guy who has other senses and other places.
You were making complete sense. I don't know if you've practiced with these
this
or
fucking
what.
sucks.
Just take it out and tell me the story. You can do it without drooling at the very least. Why compound the embarrassment by drooling on top of the story?
Because now it almost feels secure saying it.
Okay.
Okay, and I had a crush on it, and there's a very hot LA comedian.
Now I feel like you are trying to cloak the words, but I still got it's a very hot LA comedian. Yeah.
No, very hot LA comedian.
Very popular. Oh, I thought you said hot LA. Okay.
No, yeah.
Well, you're going to correct me then.
I would say he is known for his one-liners.
He's known for... Oh, okay. Wow, okay. I already figured it out.
Very dark comic.
Yeah, okay, sure. I think we all know who you're talking about.
So I used to have a big crush on him when I was younger.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I was at a party and I was drunk, and it was it's Hardy.
Okay, yeah.
This fucking blows.
It's Jeff Frost's party. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was there with my friend, and that comedian showed up, and I was like, oh my God, he's here. And I was just trying to be cool and talk to him, and we were talking, and I was drunk. This is so bad. I was drunk. And my friend and I were talking to him, and I was like, this is going great. And then my friend was eating a cupcake, and the cupcake icing fell on her wrist.
The cupcake icing fell on her wrist.
And
you did a sexy, I can fill in the blanks here. I know where this is going. She did a sexy
lick off on her wrist, and they were both weirded out by it.
Oh, well, that's on them, I feel like. Don't be embarrassed about that.
And then I just had to...
Wait, so your friend was weirded out by it too?
Everyone was, including me. Right after I did it, I realized it was weird. We all did.
Oh my God.
We all thought it was weird together.
Well, hey, at least you were all on the same page. I don't think that's embarrassing then.
That was bad. Now I need to unhurry you.
Do I have to do this, or I can just tell you the story?
I want it in there.
Oh God,
I like it.
I hate.
I'll translate. It does hurt, and it dries out your mouth and makes you drool.
Oh, great. I can't even get it in my fucking mouth.
That's all right. There you go.
All right.
Go. Spread them cheeks.
Okay, so one time.
One time.
I didn't even think of a story. Shit.
Come on, something bad.
Okay. One time,
One time? One time?
Okay, I'm trying to think of a good one like yours.
Yeah, did you ever sexily lick whipped frosting off your straight friend's wrist?
No,
like a lesbian to
I
impress
did
a man who did not care?
I'll say this. I went to a date recently.
Okay.
And
you almost speak more clearly with this.
I can't.
This really opens up your thorax or whatever.
I'm trying to key it in my face. And so I went on this date, and I thought it was a film.
A film.
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't say the other word. And I thought it was a date, and it turns out we were just hanging out, and I went to kiss the girl, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And this is like
what?
This is like 3 weeks ago.
No.
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And then yeah. So that happened.
That one came out really clear.
Yeah.
That must have hurt. Doesn't it feel better get
face.
it out? Yeah. I think you're bleeding.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. It did hurt.
Do you feel better?
I mean, I wish I had a better story, but I had to come up with one on the fly. All of a sudden. I couldn't think of a real embarrassing one. That one's fun, though. Did you ever talk about that afterwards, yours?
No.
You never...
We both remember, and we never... And now, like, I'm like...
You never brought it up
I feel like when I did it, I was, like, so much... from 22 to 33, you're, like, a different person.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm like, I feel like I was just such a different person then, and I was like, we both know that.
Yeah.
In a weird way, and we've just never talked about it. But I've talked about it on things like this, so maybe it's gotten around to him, but...
When I was 25, or how old would I have been? When I was 27... I sent Dan Soder my radio resume because I heard he was starting the bonfire. Like he was just going to hire a random guy from
That's
Buffalo.
how that works. That's not embarrassing. People do that. That's not embarrassing. I got a confession, and then we're going to close it out, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
This is one that I've never told anybody. Actually, I think I just told this story somewhere.
So much for not anybody.
Wait, did I tell
Probably the whole internet.
Did I tell it on this podcast?
Either nobody or the entire internet.
Who told this story?
What was it about? Give me like a overarching.
Oh no, I told this story to Roseanne on Roseanne's.
Oh,
I don't know.
I was about to listen to that today, and
fuck it. I'm telling it anyways.
Please pop it in.
I used to go to our dad's house on the weekends and my sister, and
it's like you're a little kid telling me a secret.
I used to go to my dad's house on the weekends with my sister, and he lived in his cottage, and the landlord was this really old lady. She was really mean.
Really mean old lady.
Nasty.
Okay. Yeah.
But she was only mean when my dad wasn't looking. So she'd act nice and her and my dad, and then when he walked away, she'd go, children should be seen and not heard. And then and she'd do shit like jump at us and like act. And I think I don't know if this is a real area. I think she would pinch us.
She pinched you?
Yeah. I think so. Mm-hmm. I ain't yanking it up. She had a hunchback.
Some mean old lady with a hunchback pinching you.
I hate children. Like that. Like,
I bet her face was like yours too.
Yeah, I hate children.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that's how she is.
Yeah.
And she was telling me, and one day, my sister was playing in the sprinklers and my dad's hose. And it was Florida in the summer. And she came out and my dad was out. And she was like, oh, the girls are having fun. And my dad was like, yeah. And he went inside and she came out and she said, turn the fucking water off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she was mean and we were scared of her.
Okay.
So one day, I'm chilling at my dad's house, watching TV on the couch. TV's on. And I'm probably 6 years old.
6 years old.
Yeah. And I'm watching TV on the couch. And I had the TV on, and then I sort of hear, I go, what's that? And then it gets louder. I go, what's that? And then it gets a little louder. It was my dad's name.
Okay.
Jeff.
And it was this
Jeff.
old lady
And it was the old lady yelling her help. So I stand on the couch, I open the blinds, and I look. And she's on the sidewalk. She fell, and I think broke her hip. And it's like 90 degrees out in Florida, and she's out there throwing it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I look at her, and I look at the room where my dad is, and I look at her, and I closed the blinds and turned up the TV.
and she's dead.
No, my dad found her like 10 minutes later. He was like, oh my God, the old lady fell. I was like, she did? We should go save her. That's like, so horrible.
You're like the kid from The Omen or something. That's scary.
I mean,
just like
I remember
smiling.
The moment, of being
Your smile was like the one.
I remember having the thought that if she dies on this sidewalk, that I can go to my dad's house and not be scared anymore. And it was just like the only thing I wanted was not be scared of her. That makes sense. She was horrifying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, karma, bitch.
Yeah. I'll confess something.
Okay. Thank you.
When I found out my dad was cheating on my mom,
oof,
I broke his.
Do you want the mouthpiece?
No, I can do it without it. I broke his one of his windows in his Mustang with a baseball bat, and then never told him that I did it.
He knew it was you.
I think so. Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah.
Only a son could do that to his own father after a cheating scandal. That's the one thing a son should do is break the Mustang.
Yeah. It was like in our driveway, so it was like, Hell
yeah.
There was no robbers or anything and nothing was missing. So
I keyed my stepdad's car.
You keep it?
Keyed it. And then,
you keyed it?
They put me in a holding cell.
What?
16. They called the police on me.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
It was such a dramatic family moment. I keyed his car right before I ran away. Then I ran away. The cops found me. They brought me back to the house. Suddenly my grandpa was there, who was not there before, but just there, in the driveway as they were pulling me out cuffs. It was those the show The Fosters, when they have the dramatic characters. I was like And my grandpa was like,
fuck you, stepdad.
a single tear rolled down his cheek. He said nothing to me. It was literally like a movie moment.
What'd you call your stepdad? Was his name?
His name's Shelby.
You go, fuck you, Shelby.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And then they put me in the holding cell, and then I carved Princess Kim into the wall.
Princess Kim. Yeah. That's a long...
It was 6 hours I was in there. And I was such a smartass. I was 16 and they put me in it. And literally, I was like such a bitch the whole time. I was like, just about 30 more minutes till you legally have to let me out since I'm underage. I was a bitch. They hated me. And I was like, I guess after this, I can just go home. I was like too smart. So they fucking hated me. And my aunt came to bail me out after the 6 hours was up. And then my cousin was laughing at me, and I fucking did one of these to him at the police station. And the cop was like, have you learned nothing?
That's so funny.
Have you learned nothing? He was like so ashamed. And I was like, no. They like hated me. I was like, fuck you.
The one time I was in a holding cell, it was like a private one, but they took my glasses.
That's abuse.
Which is kind of fucked up. They did it because like I could carve a shank in it or something and stab somebody. I don't know. So they took that. They took my hoodie string, like, because they thought like, oh, you could hang yourself or choke on it or something. And I was like, if I knew how to hang myself by a hoodie string, I would have done it a long time ago. But we
would have caught him in the top of the Comedy Store hanging by a bush jacket years ago.
But yeah, they took my glasses, so I felt like I felt really like off, you know what I mean? And it was actually like a decent cell because I had it alone, and there was like, I had my own toilet, I had my own bench, and there were other guys in other ones. And so I felt like kind of like, well, I'm safe from all the other ones. Mm-hmm. And I was in there for about like 3 hours, I guess. And it just sucked because I couldn't see. Right. That was really the worst part. I don't know if I would have wanted to see, but yeah, that was the worst part. But I was real nice. I'm like, sir, may I have my glasses? And they're like, fuck you, you fucking.
I went on a cruise in college with a bunch of my friends, and when we got back to the port, it took off from Florida. So when we got back, it ported in Miami. And they fucking came into the room with dogs, kicked down our door, and arrested my friend on a Friday. So he had to spend the whole weekend in Miami jail.
Oh, my God.
Because he had an unpaid parking ticket.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that crazy?
How did they get onto the boat and everything?
Dude, it was so intense. I was like, have you been touching children? Like,
yeah, that's
what's
intense.
happening? It was like way much more than it needed to be.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he went, and it was for an unpaid ticket, maybe a speeding ticket or something, but something that went unpaid. And he went to jail, and we were flushing our weed. It was so dramatic, dude.
Oh, my God.
It was crazy.
You want to hear a fucking crazy cruise story?
Yeah.
So I was dating this girl. And she was like texting with one of her friends who was on a cruise. Like this group of friends went on a cruise, her friends or whatever. And we're sitting there, and this guy, he's like telling us the story over FaceTime. So I'm listening to it. Basically what happened was like one of the dudes in the group met a couple at the bar and like went to have like a three-way with them. Like they invited him back to their room for like a threesome. And while the threesome's about to occur, they get into a fight. And everybody's wasted, and they get into a huge fight. They're like throwing things at each other. It's getting crazy. The guy jumps off the balcony, off the cruise ship, just jumps off.
Kills himself?
I assume. I mean,
where was this?
This is like in the Caribbean or whatever. I don't know. So they have to go to Miami, and like the police have to like interview this guy because he just watched.
Who's the one that jumped off? The boyfriend?
The husband.
Oh no!
Yeah, so this guy, the one that
I came to get his dick sucked.
The guy that I kind of know or knew or whatever was like just met these people.
Oh God!
And just went to go fuck.
No,
and like have a weird like he's like this guy was kind of like being like a cuck or whatever. And then the guy's like he had a change of heart, but the girl still wanted to do it, so he jumps off the cruise ship. Insane. And the guy like texted another thing later. He was like, dude left his shoes, and there was like these cool sneakers. He's like, do I take the shoes? Yeah. I was like, I don't fucking know. That's crazy.
Yeah, you got to take the shoes. He went through a lot. He should get shoes out of it. He went through a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. It was the craziest story I ever heard. And then like they were sending the article too at the same time, like,
oh fuck,
because it was like in the news and everything. It was nuts.
Really do anything on a cruise. There's probably a lot of like weird threesomes.
Well, I thought for sure you could kill someone in international waters and like be like,
Rules is rules.
Yeah, which government's gonna arrest me? But I'm not sure how that all shakes out.
Well, I guess we should look into that.
Yeah, if you sound off in the comments if you know anything about.
If you know how to kill someone on a cruise, sound off in the comments.
Tell me what is that called? Maritime law or whatever it is?
Oh, yeah.
Let me know how that shakes out.
Maritime law.
But
who the fuck was maritime anyways?
I think that's just something nautical. A nautical word.
Nautical sounds sexual.
Yeah, nautical, starboard.
There's something sexual about
port.
Yeah, semen. What's happening out there in the water?
Right.
what's the pent up energy in the ocean?
Isn't it the Navy that all fuck each other? Sorry, Navy. Thank you for your service.
Not the SEALs coming after Potter.
Not the SEALs, the other ones that keep in the with the white uniforms.
Oh, those guys? Yeah. Those are the seamen.
The YMCA song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The village people.
Right.
Hell yeah. Well, Josh, thank you so much for coming on to the pod.
No problem. I had to disparage the troops before the end of the episode.
You know how it be.
Yeah. We were just about to get out, and I was like, you know what I got to do?
I got to call
the Navy gay.
Josh, where can people find you?
I'm on the internet, and the Josh Potter Show comes out every Wednesday, and you can find new episodes there on YouTube, and yeah, that's about it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You guys make sure you check out Josh Potter Show. He is honestly the best. So fucking fun.
Oh, I'm going to be, by the way, in Salt Lake City, January 12th and 13th for my birthday.
Yeah, you are.
Doing shows, so come on out, wise guys.
Hell yeah. You guys follow me on KimCongdon.com for show dates, patreon.com/KimCongdon, Kim Congdon on all social medias. Check out my other podcast, This Bitch with Sarah Weinshank. And I got to figure out when this show's coming out, but I've got shows. Look for my show dates. Get off my ass, please. Just buy fucking tickets.
Just buy the fucking tickets, folks.
You know what? Do it. Just do it. Look it up. Find it.
You have no idea how much it helps. I don't even care if you come. Just buy the tickets.
Please, just buy the tickets. Buy it as a gift for me. Tip me. Tip me $20. Buy a ticket to one of my future shows and give it away.
Pull a 50 cent and just buy out the whole theater and no one comes. I won't even care.
I wouldn't even care.
I would not care.
I would not care. Please. And thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Bye.